Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, Ancient Gladiator, today with Gwent. I was wondering if this episode was going to happen after the whole Shadow vs. Evolved episode, so glad to see it finally be real. Alright, as part of the game, you will have your leader, your deck of cards. Deck of cards is going to have units, some of them might be heroes, and special cards. In advanced deck building, you will be limited to 5 special cards and a combined strength of all units of 130. And I believe limits on spies and medics. Yeah, I'll double check that later. So, once everyone's set up for the game, your initial hand will be 10 cards. You can discard up to 2 of them. They get reshuffled in, and then you have to draw 2 more. There will be a coin flip, with one exception, to determine the first player for the game. And then that player will take the first turn of the first round. The winner of a given round will go first in the next round. When you win, the other player loses a gem. If they lose both gems, they lose. If a game ends in a tie of strength, both players lose a gem. So, as part of your turn, you take a card from hand and play it. If it is a weather card, it goes to the weather zone. If it is a unit, it goes to its specific zone type. Melee, ranged, or siege. It's nice that they have all 3 zones, unlike the mobile version. And then you'll adjust your strength accordingly. There'll be little icons on the right side, and you'll have some little reminder cards about what those will do. So, KRN has both Agile, which puts them on either row and cannot be moved once placed. They also have Morale Boost. Add 1 strength to all units on its row, including itself. So it's effectively a 9. The other player can play a card, use their leader ability, or pass. So with Eridan, his leader ability lets me grab any weather card from my own deck and play it. And here, draws a card from your opponent's discard pile, cannot be a hero. So players will alternate playing cards using their leader abilities or passing. Once you pass, you're done playing cards. Your opponent is then free to play as many cards as they'd like before they pass. We get to resolution. So let's just say, for comparison's sake, we've got some units that are out there. So those benefit each other, but unfortunately it's not enough. So the monsters win this fight, and they lose the gem, and all the cards that were involved get discarded, including the weather card. Discard piles over there. These are for the player aids. And then the winner will start the next round. You only have 10 cards to work with for the entire game. So you're going to have to be creative with how you end up using them. And it's entirely possible to end up in the 3rd round and just know how screwed you are by how few cards you have. or realize it's going to be very close to the wire because nobody committed enough during the first two rounds. And that's basically it. It's the usual back and forth of Gwent if you're familiar with it. What's the game got going for it? It's got some pretty nice art, some interesting flavor text. It's got 5 factions worth of cards to mess with. Got the monsters, got Nilfgaard. Where's the rest? Bring out the box. Extra board for some reason. Reference cards. We've got Skellige, Northern Realms, and for the life of me, I have no clue how to pronounce their name. But it's like Scoia'tael. Yeah. The game is nice enough to show you, hey, this goes into your starting deck with a little white star in the bottom left. But then you pretty much have free reign to build whatever deck you want out of your faction from there. So something that might come up is, why would you ever use like certain cards? That might be an idea for an advanced mode, is build a deck for a faction, but you don't know if you're going to be playing that faction. So you have to accept the fact that you might be building a bad deck that you end up with, or a powerful deck that someone else does. That might inspire you to put some of the weird situational cards in there. Actual suggested game modes included with the game. Advanced, so 1 leader, 22 unit cards at minimum, 5 special cards at most, limit on 2 spies and 2 medics. The combined strength of all units cannot exceed 130. It's entirely possible to get your actual strength above that with certain abilities, but that's it. Tournament mode. Each player builds 3 separate decks from different factions, and the same hero cannot exist in multiple decks. Players must win 2 out of 3 full games to win the tournament. Alright. There's a free-for-all mode for 3 to 5 players. Since there's 5 factions, every player builds their own deck from a faction. The only thing is you won't be able to use the mat. You'll have to probably use some dice to keep track of strength, and some kind of special reminder thing for what zone a character might be in. Although, depending on what you end up playing, it's probably easy to know what zone something's going to be in by what zone it has to be in, just in general. 2v2. So, players are playing different factions against each other as a team of 2 versus another team. It'll alternate between the players and teams. So player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. There'll be some ability clarifications for that mode. There's a way to play solo. You can, every card in the faction is combined to make 1 deck for the opponent. It looks like. Weather cards get removed, though. Except clear weather. And the opponent just plays the top card of their deck. Yeah. They came up with a lot of good options to mess with for those modes, but I also want I also want to see the build a deck you might not get it approach as well. So why do I like this game? Because you know me by now, I like my card duels. It's the reason why I still have soccer arms. It's why I rescued Shadowverse Evolve out of a trash can. I just like the approach. You play a card, it's your opponent's turn. And all it takes to win a round is strength total. And yeah, your effects can mess with an opponent. But there's no like instant speed stuff. No other weirdness to really keep track of. It is an interesting approach that they went with. Let's put symbols and then have a guide for how to use them. I suppose if you're playing with, if you're trying to set up the game for people who may not have English as their first language, it probably makes it easier to translate a single set of cards rather than every single card in the game. But I think once you get used to the symbols, it's pretty easy to keep track of. So, Gwent, it is out. Go get it. Have fun with it because, again, I just love the whole card duel concepts. Thanks very much for watching. This is Pillar, and we'll see you next time.